Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the core insights you need. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that's, well, really critical for any organization's long-term health employee retention. We're talking about how to keep your most valuable asset, your people engaged, thriving, and committed. We've got a stack of really compelling sources for this deep dive. It's centered around an insightful article, 10 employee retention strategies to foster company loyalty. And we've also got some excellent material on the practical tools that bring these strategies to life.
Right. And our mission today is really to unearth those crucial nuggets of wisdom, maybe challenge some common assumptions along the way. You might think retaining talent is just about avoiding the cost of new hires, but we'll show you how it fundamentally shapes workplace culture, how it boosts collective purpose, and, well, drives innovation. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have, I think, a clear roadmap for what truly makes a workplace irresistible, whether you're leading a team or you're just curious about what makes businesses flourish.
Okay, so let's kick things off with what's often the first thing people think about when it comes to keeping employees: competitive wages. It might seem like an obvious point, but the source unpacks something a bit more subtle here, doesn't it? It's not just about the raw numbers, it seems, but more about perceived fairness and how internal equity can sometimes be stronger than just being the highest payer out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, the research makes it clear that while a higher starting salary is definitely a powerful magnet, the real retention power of competitive wages comes from fostering that sense of pride and value in your existing employees. When people feel fairly compensated, they're not just staying put, they're more focused on high-quality work. And interestingly, they're actually more likely to refer, equally talented friends. It's about making sure employees aren't constantly worried about making ends meet. That frees them up to invest fully in their roles.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And what really stood out to me in the material was the practical advice, especially for, say, smaller businesses, on how to actually achieve this. It's not just pay more, but more like find the funds. Things like scrutinizing unnecessary expenses. Maybe that daily cleaning service could become biweekly.
Right. Or renegotiating vendor contracts.
Exactly. Even bringing in financial advisors to really dig into the books. It shows it's a strategic decision, not just a case of having deep pockets. But okay, what if the budget for constant raises just isn't there? Does that mean you're out of options?
Not at all, no. The sources reveal some pretty clever ways to offer value that goes beyond the paycheck.
What's the key there then?
Well, that's where meaningful benefits really come into play. The article highlights how HR teams can get creative, looking for alternative benefits that save employees money indirectly. Think beyond just the traditional health insurance. A great example they cited was implementing an employee wellness program where, achieving positive health results actually translates into savings on monthly insurance premiums. This kind of focus on well-being, it directly boosts satisfaction and I think cultivates a deeper sense of loyalty. It shows the company genuinely cares.
It's easy to just assume compensation is a number, isn't it? But the material dives into this much broader definition of value here. It's about building an overall support system, making people
Yeah, and it's less about a formal meeting, I think, and more about genuine human interest. The research really emphasizes asking meaningful, personalized questions, not just about tasks, right, but about their well-being, their career aspirations, their goals. Regular feedback loops where employees feel truly heard and understood, they're absolutely critical. This direct, personalized engagement, it builds trust and, importantly, psychological safety, which is really the bedrock of any high-performing team.
That's powerful stuff. And it really raises an important question for you, our listener. When was the last time you felt truly heard by your leadership? Beyond just a standard performance review.
Exactly. And speaking of performance, the articles then pivot to something crucial once that connection is established: identifying your top performers. It's not just about knowing who's doing well, but what you do with that knowledge.
So why is spotting your best talent so crucial for retention? And how does the source advise companies to, well, leverage that?
Right. Once you've identified those standout individuals, it becomes a strategic opportunity. The source suggests things like assigning them as new team leads or grooming them for higher positions, investing heavily in their professional development. What's particularly insightful, I think, is the emphasis on promoting internal mobility and implementing cross-functional teams. This isn't just about filling roles, it's about showing a clear growth path within the organization, demonstrating that there's a future for them right where they are. That's powerful.
Hmm.
It also helps uncover that hidden talent, people who might not be in leadership yet, but have immense potential.
That's a fantastic way to show employees they really have a future within the organization. Yeah. Now, moving beyond the day-to-day tasks, let's look at how organizations are adapting. The work landscape has changed so dramatically. The pandemic obviously accelerated remote work, and many companies were, let's say, hesitant. But what's been the undeniable reality since 2020? And what does it take to truly make remote work effective, seamless, and good for retention?
Well, the data since 2020, it consistently shows that the ability to work flexibly, and often without those typical office distractions, has actually increased productivity for many people. And beyond the obvious benefits, like cost savings and reduced sickness spread, the research highlights that true seamless remote work requires specific pillars. Things like clear communication hierarchies, robust communication and collaboration tools, think platforms like Zoom or online whiteboards. Also managing expectations proactively, ensuring accountability through results, not just FaceTime, and actively nurturing a positive workplace culture, even in that digital realm. Flexible schedules and genuine work-life integration. They're not perks anymore, they're really expectations.
So, what does this all mean for you if you're managing a hybrid or maybe a fully remote team? It means you have to intentionally equip them for success, right? Not just sort of let them figure it out on their own.
And that leads perfectly into the next strategic point, using objectives and key results, or OKRs. Many people are familiar with KPIs, key performance indicators, those metrics that track performance. But what exactly are OKRs, and why are they highlighted as such a powerful framework for engagement and retention?
OKRs, yes. I've heard them described as a bit like a GPS for your professional life. Like, where are we going and how do we know when we've arrived?
Precisely. Yeah, that's a good analogy. An OKR is a specific, usually ambitious goal or objective, and it's supported by, typically, 3 to 5 measurable key results. What makes them so versatile and impactful, as the source points out, is that they work across different levels: organizational, team, and individual. For example, an organizational OKR might be, say, reduce employee turnover by X%. A team OKR could be increase employee experience scores by Y%, and an individual one might be boost career growth by achieving Z certification. The real power lies in aligning those individual goals with the broader organizational objectives. It gives every employee a clear sense of purpose, of direction, and crucially, how their daily work contributes to the bigger picture. It's a powerful antidote to feeling like, just a cog in a machine.
That really helps bridge that gap, doesn't it, between individual effort and collective impact. Okay, now, moving beyond the sort of day-to-day tasks, it's about the bigger story of where you work. Let's delve into creating an engaging employer brand. For millennials and Gen Z especially, money isn't the only driver. We know that. What else keeps top talent truly invested?
Yeah, the research strongly indicates that employees, particularly younger generations, need to feel like they're an integral part of the brand's story, not just, stuck in some dead-end job. This means establishing strong, authentic brand values and a workplace culture that truly defines a compelling employer value proposition. The article strongly emphasizes robust advancement programs, things like workshops, seminars, further education, tailored training opportunities, things that genuinely prepare individuals for bigger roles. It even mentions the value of establishing alumni networks, which can serve as this powerful external affirmation and a resource for current employees too. It shows commitment extends beyond just their tenure.
So if you're looking to attract and keep the very best, then you truly have to think beyond the paycheck. You need to consider the overall journey and the growth narrative you're actually offering.
And part of that journey, often overlooked perhaps, is simply having the right tools for the job.
Yes, let's talk about equipping your team for success. How does the absence of the right tools directly impact stress levels and ultimately turnover?
Well, high stress and frustration often stem directly from not having the necessary resources to do one's job effectively. It's that simple sometimes. The sources are pretty clear. Sales teams need efficient sales funnels, or CRMs, that's customer relationship management systems. And really, every team needs seamless project collaboration and communication tools for that real-time information exchange. The article specifically call out categories like employee communication platforms, recognition and rewards platforms, and employee engagement platforms. They see these as crucial for enhancing internal communications and boosting overall workplace satisfaction. It's really about removing those friction points and empowering productivity.
That raises a really important question for you, our listener, doesn't it? Are your team members truly empowered by the technology they use? Or are they constantly battling it, feeling like they're, I don't know, trying to win a race with one hand tied behind their back? Okay, and finally, let's talk about what feels like the beating heart of any successful organization: building a thriving workplace culture. Why is company culture so utterly essential for long-term success and retention?
The material identifies several, well, non-negotiable pillars for a positive workplace culture: honesty, transparency, equality, trust, collaboration, and accountability. And it's about more than just buzzwords, right? It's about lived values. Implementing DEIB initiatives, that's diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and organizing regular, genuine team-building activities. These are specifically highlighted as ways to foster a truly inclusive environment and strengthen those vital interpersonal relationships. A strong culture basically means people want to be there, not just because of the job, but because of the people and the environment itself.
And tying it all together, what about the very beginning of an employee's journey, that crucial first impression?
Right, that's where a useful, really robust onboarding process comes in. Every new employee holds the potential to become a top performer, but that potential needs nurturing from day one. Effective onboarding isn't just paperwork and HR forms. It's about empowering new hires, familiarizing them with brand values, personalizing their welcome, ideally pairing them with a veteran buddy, and ensuring leaders show genuine proactive interest right from the start. A positive candidate experience that extends into thoughtful coaching programs really sets the tone for long-term satisfaction and loyalty. It makes the integration of new employees seamless and truly embeds them within the team and the culture.
Wow. We've really covered a vast landscape in this deep dive, haven't we? From those foundational elements like competitive pay and meaningful benefits, all the way through the intricate dance of personal growth, strategic goal setting, and then building that overarching positive culture with the right tools and, yeah, a solid first impression through onboarding. It's so clear these strategies aren't standalone. They're profoundly interconnected in fostering loyalty and, crucially, reducing turnover.
Absolutely. The holistic goal here really is to cultivate a truly strong, committed workforce, one that doesn't just perform tasks, but innovates and genuinely drives the business forward. It's about intentionally creating an environment where employees feel valued, they feel heard, and they can genuinely envision a future for themselves within the organization. That radically lowers the risk of turnover. And look, modern employees expect more than just a paycheck now. They expect flexible work, personalized career development, transparent communication, and a real commitment to their well-being.
So, what does this all mean for your perspective? What if prioritizing employee well-being and growth isn't just a smart retention strategy, but maybe the fundamental blueprint for building a more resilient, more innovative, and ultimately more successful future for all organizations? Regardless of size or industry, we invite you to consider which of these powerful strategies resonates most with you and how you might apply or explore them further, whether that's in your own professional journey or maybe within your organization.